How you gonna change the things around you? Oh, what you gonna love inside of you? Oh, when you gonna hear his revelation? Oh, let it move inside of you.
Welcome, everyone. This is Michelle Diamond, and we just want to welcome you, beautiful souls, to Infinite Perspectives with your host, Michelle Diamond again, and
Linda Boston, performing literary and teaching artist.
absolutely. As you know, I am Michelle Diamond, CEO of Next Level Promotion and PR for Linda Boston, and co-founder and co-host of Infinite Perspectives. Infinite Perspectives is proudly brought to you by Peer, Next Level Promotion, Carlotta Culver Brand, Moniker Enterprises, and Unlimited Networks Property Management. We're so grateful you're here with us on this sacred journey of reflection and awakening. Our theme today is one that stirs both curiosity and deep remembrance. Kalki Consciousness. Joining us, we have the amazing Deepak Manchanda, a spiritual life coach who guides people toward transformation, empowerment, and inner peace. We will be exploring what Kalki consciousness means, how it can help us evolve personally and collectively, and practical ways you can embody this powerful path in your own life. Deepak, it's an honor to have you with us. To begin, could you share a little about your own journey into spiritual life coaching and what drew you to explore Kalki consciousness?
So, Michelle, first of all, thank you very much for having me here. Thank you, Linda. And it has been amazing discussing about something which is very close to my heart. And I'll tell you about myself. Until year 2002, I was like any ordinary person who was, progressively growing on the professional path. I was a country head in the Middle East before, coming to Canada. It's been 25 years since I'm living in Canada, and last 7 years I'm working in US. But in 2000, until 2002, as I told you, I was just progressively growing in my career. I was doing very, very well, and probably lacking of little discipline and other values, and those things which we normally forget when we are young. And
Right.
maybe that also happened with me, and I lost my unborn child in 2002, and that changed everything.
Wow.
I started blaming myself. I started wishing I should die. I was um, I was I had a traveling job, and I remember I used to travel at least twice in a week. And each time, like, there will be some wobbling in the aeroplane, and I will just start wishing, God, this should be the last trip. This should be the last. And then I will eventually say, like, other people do not have any fault. Do not listen to me. It was very dramatic, the phase which I went through when you bend on your knees. And I believe each one of us at some point of time in our life, we bend on our and we do not have any place to go. We do not have anyone to look forward for our issues and troubles at that time. I also was the same. I started drinking, was not disciplined.
Mm.
And one day, while flying back from Moncton to Toronto, I stopped breathing and I was put onto the oxygen. Flight landed about 40 minutes before time. And I always joke because Air Canada is not mostly in time. And then that day, the flight landed 40 minutes before time. Ambulance was on the
Wow.
I was put into the ambulance. They, reviewed my status and then told me that now you're okay. Go and see your family doctor next day.
Mm.
So I reached home and I slept. And then next morning, when I woke up, it appeared like I have walked miles. I was very tired. My bed was wet with my own sweat. I can put my finger and it was so wet.
Wow.
So eventually I realized that I had a near death experience on that night.
Yes.
And
Mm.
right after that experience, the amazing thing which happened with me, I have never written in my life. I have never drawn in my life. I'm not a painter. I'm not an artist. I'm a computer engineer who's very much away from arts. And all of a sudden, I started writing, and I wrote 9 poems in 3 days.
Really?
Yeah, and those poems are on the Poem Hunter. And all of a sudden, my energy started going towards something which I was not inclined before. I knew about God as anyone learns from the parents or the cultural values which we, have during our early childhood. But all of a sudden, I started getting knowledge or wisdom which I was not aware of.
Mhm.
Mm.
And for the next 7 to 8 years were very, very challenging. I started losing interest in my job. I just wanted to just talk about God, nothing beyond it, because somebody
Mm.
saved me from a guilt. It just appeared like, that the guilt which I had on my heart has been removed. And who should I thank now? And I
Mhm.
believe each one of us, we go through those circumstances where we cannot say thank you beyond the entity, which is not an entity, yet hold all the entities of this world. And we call it as a God. So, but this was very, very struggling. I started losing control even on my family commitments,
Mm.
because this journey of knowing self, which we call awakening is nothing but a state where you start knowing beyond what you know, a
Mhm.
state where your eyes open up and you see things which you have heard probably, which you might have read somewhere, but you have never experienced. And the most amazing thing is to experience the invisible entity. Like
Mm.
we say God is invisible, but you actually have the glimpse of that invisible God who guides you during that time. But because you are learning and unlearning during that state of, your body start aching, you will have joint pains, back pain, your bones will, their density will go down. Mentally, you will go through depression, anxiety, because you go either in the past, now you are worried about the future, what will happen, how people will judge me in case if I become vulnerable. Those things started actually deteriorating your mental health also. And you will be amazed to hear that many at times people cannot control that what they are experiencing, and sometimes even commit suicide also,
Mm.
schizophrenia, or other things. But after 7 to 10 years, this energy which has rise in your body or given you awakening, that's settled down. And the good thing is now you do not have the question. Now you are not inquisitive anymore because you have got your answers. But you are 7 to 10 years behind everyone who was with you at some point of time in your life. They have all gone ahead. You have left behind, because during the 7 to 10 years, you start thinking that you are a prophet. You start thinking
Mm.
that you are a healer, because you are not. It is just that, um, you know, I will say illusion. It's not a reality at that time, because there is a very thin line between reality and the illusion. This is the time people start smoking, marijuana or other, things like that, which
As
actually
a
calm
coping
them down.
mechanism. Yeah.
And it is very common, like whosoever is experiencing awakening, you'll find certain things, very common. Their clothing will change. They will start wearing some bracelet. Whenever they will have an opportunity, they will start talking about the God. And not everyone around them is mature or growing the way they are growing. So all of a sudden you are in isolation, you are aloof. Nobody is talking to you, and you have no circle to,
Yes.
bend on, or it's very bad. So because in my case or in everybody's case, they get inclined towards one kind of wisdom. Somebody who's a physicist may start talking about the physics in a different way. Somebody who's coming from gardening or bodybuilding, all of a sudden they will start having certain techniques which are way better than the previous techniques, because they are getting intelligent during that time, but at the same time they are losing the grip over the different things.
Mhm.
But when I realized that I am not the first one who's going through this, I am not the last one who will go through this. Before me, during my time, and even after me, there has been time where time to time people have evolved, people have understood who they are, and then they continue their life as a better person who they were. You cannot compare even the two personalities, how they change. It is somebody coming out of their cocoon and all of a sudden is a new person.
Mm.
But as I told you, the challenges were there. So I started helping people from 2009 onwards. So as soon as my awakening ended into an enlightenment. So first state is a sleep state, which 90% of us stay. But then one day, because of some pressure in our life, can be a physical, like, we have met an injury, we are going through cancer, can be
Right.
mental, whereby, we have challenges, separation, divorces, kids not doing as per our, expectations, and then emotional. Sometimes you have those crises in their life. So I decided that I will start talking about it so that people know the tools and techniques, how they can come, out of it, and do not feel after 7 to 10 years that they have left behind.
Right. So
So,
I
yes,
have a question, and I'm sorry to cut you there. What I wanted to pose, because you said a mouthful, you talked about what you endured with your loss of your unborn child. You tapped into near death experience and the awakening, and that's a lot. And then you transitioned into how this awakening started to occur for you. Now, for our viewers and listeners that are hearing about this for the first time, can you explain to us what exactly is Kalki consciousness, and how would you describe it?
sure. So, as I told you that I was going through certain experiences, and I also realized that I am not the only one who's going through those experiences. Other people are also going through that experience. So, first, I will give you a little bit of background that what is consciousness.
Right.
Consciousness is whatever we experience with our five senses in our life, whether we see it, touch it, smell it. Those five senses gives us the experience. So anything which we have experienced with our five senses comes in our conscious. So when we come out of mother's womb, the only conscious which we have is the hunger. That we start
Mm.
crying when we do not. That is the only one conscious we have at that time. But eventually, when we are growing, somebody says, these are vegetable, these are fruit, this is your school, this is your car, this is your pet. So we start
Ah,
learning about those things, eventually. And that's called as our consciousness. Then, with the consciousness available to us, what we have experienced, we start taking actions and create more conscious. Like we have never traveled to some country. Now we are traveling and becoming, our consciousness is becoming bigger. Now I'm learning about a different culture, a different religion maybe. So consciousness keep on growing progressively in our life with every experience.
okay.
So
That's
that is,
regardless, and that's regardless of your background. Everyone has
everyone has that, with
consciousness.
their experiences.
Mm.
Exactly. Mhm.
Now, this consciousness, from where we get that consciousness? Because there has to be some source for it. So that source is an energy, and that energy is in each cell. So if you see humans, one cell, there is a thing called as mitochondria. Some
Right.
people call it as mitochondria also, based
Mhm.
on. So that is an energy vacuole where the energy stays. Now,
Mhm.
this energy has two capabilities. One, it gives the ability to that cell to perform its function.
Mhm.
That's one.
Mhm.
Second, it also gives the wisdom to cell to protect or propagate.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes.
So one cell knows to divide 49 times and can create a baby.
Mhm.
If you really see, the life of human being starts from a cell that
Right.
divides 49 times, and that division lead to a species, humans, full form of a human species. So it means that cell has that wisdom not only to create the baby, but to create a baby and consistently the similar babies. It means the
Mhm.
human cell will create all the time similar species. That's how
Yes.
wise intelligence this energy is.
Yes. You speak
Now,
so. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. Finish.
so I was just trying to say, so let's say if I tell you to raise your hand, so you raise your hand. If I tell you to cut the wood, so you will cut the wood. From where that energy is coming? It's not mind that, it is, there has to be some energy. You cannot do anything. You cannot perform any function. You cannot act anything until there is an energy.
Mhm.
So your
Yes.
cell, which has the mitochondria, that energy, which gives you the ability to what it will do as well as how it will protect. Same, that energy vacuole is charged every day from a generator which is in our butts.
Mhm. The Taurus.
So that tube, there is a tube in our butts
Yes.
which collects the energy, which creates the energy, which collects the energy, and from where we get the energy? From our sleep, from our food, the water we drink, the air we
Mm.
inhale, and the thoughts what we have. So these five things make the energy. So some
Yes.
people
Ah,
take bad actions. It means they are not eating very well.
okay. So,
They might be having a bad air or bad water. That's why
Mhm.
they behave that way, because their energy is not pure. There is some
It's not
impurity.
Mhm. Now
okay.
I have to interject here, Michelle.
No, no, go ahead.
You are talking my language, okay? For the last year and a half, I've been studying sacred geometry
Okay.
and the beauty of sacred geometry. It talks about the torus and how we grow from the inside out. We've got the mouth and the anus that are our dimples that create that inside out growth and the cell division. And I I have it is a calling for me to study this. It's in my dharma because it's so perfectly sitting there. And it talks about crystals and all of those things.
Mm.
You mentioned 9 points and the perfection of the number 9. All of what you're saying is related to that sacred geometry representation of pure symmetric order at an atomic level. So, can we say that Kalki consciousness is an embracing of sacred geometry that we study, that we draw, that we recognize in everything around us, that we see in relationship to the universe? Is all of that connected to Kalki consciousness?
I'll come on to that also. So, as I was telling you, that there is a little bit of energy required for our day-to-day operation. You wake up in the morning, you have to work for 8 or 9 hours, and you see it after 8 or 9 hours, you are exhausted. Then you need a little bit of sleep, food, and then again next day you have that energy to work on. So it is, this energy is measured and very precisely, with precision. to operate our body. But sometime the flow of this energy goes more, and the moment it rises, the things change in our body. So the wisdom which we are going to get on a daily basis in 100 years, that wisdom might come in 7 to 10 years. You become as wise as a 100 years old person during that time when you get awakened. And
Mhm.
awakening is nothing but the energy which is in your body is now overflowing.
Yes.
When something start overflowing, it is dangerous also. Yes, it will have its own benefit that you have the wisdom now to take care of all your problems. You can intuit even about your problems. Not only you can intuit about yourself, but you can intuit about others also. You can even talk to spirits. So there are a lot of benefits which comes with this wisdom, but when something is overflowing and it is not being taken care, then it brings the misery also.
So
So
give
Wow.
me an example. Give me an example of something that would be dangerous about it.
okay, so the physically, the dangerous thing is that by the age of 15 or 16, we become left-hander or right-hander. Our body is bilateral and having 640 muscles. If we become left-hander or right-hander, half of the side becomes paralyzed.
Mm.
By the age we reach about 30 to 35, you will see your half body works way better than your other half, which has not been worked, because your body was not consuming that energy because you were not using that organ. 100 years back, we were farmers, horse riders. Both of our limbs were being used, whether it is our two hands or 2 feet, both were being used. But in this present lifestyle, where we have the automatic cars, our only one side is being used compared to the other one. When this energy rises, it flows through the channel. It has, like, our respiratory system, circulatory system has some organs. If you take circulatory system, it has blood circulatory system, it has heart, arteries, and veins. Same way, this energy system has three things mainly. Primarily, one, the generator, which is Kundalini.
I was going to ask you, is that Kundalini?
Another is
Mhm.
the channels, the main channels through which this awareness or energy flows. That is called as nadis. So the channels through which it flows are called as nadis, Nadis.
Mm.
The energy generator is called as Kundalini. And the points from where the energy comes out are called as chakras. So these are
Mhm.
Mm.
three words which, so if we have heart, auricles, and ventricles in circulatory system, if you ask me what is in the energy system, so it has Kundalini, the generator, the channels, the nadis, from where it will flow, and the third thing is the those portals, the knowledge portals or wisdom
Right.
which will give us the knowledge.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So,
So yes, please.
Folks
no,
need to
I'm
be
sorry.
taking notes. If you don't have your pencil and your paper for this one, you need to get a pencil and paper because
Right.
it's a lot of
That's
information.
what I was going to say. Thank you for clarifying that. So you've delved in deeper for us. And what I'm getting is it's a universal transformation. Like it's a cycle. It connects everything. And because of that, it feels so universal. How can this consciousness transform us personally?
Mhm.
Yes. So as I was telling you that the energy is precise, but when it increases, so it
Mhm.
start flowing. So the first thing where the people have the challenge, their bodies start aching in one side which is blocked,
Mm.
because now the energy is forcing to get into the channel. Their body is not capable. So then they start getting into postures. Maybe they will crack their energy, bend themselves. And if
Mhm.
you really see, those are the postures of the yoga, which a human being is forced to do it. Even if you do not know yoga, your
Yes.
body will start moving in a way that energy can pass through those channels. And it is a very natural way. Like, even if nobody teaches you about it, when you will be awakened, all of a sudden you will start having the pain in that side which is not being used. Mostly it is the left shoulder,
Mhm.
hip, the leg, and the the
Okay.
dorsal, the joint, the feet joint. So these are the things where you start having the cracks, and it is not comfortable. You cannot sit even. Mostly, it is between your fourth and fifth lumbar. If you go
Right.
to a doctor, they will say
Yeah.
you have something protrude between your fourth and fifth lumbar because your leg is affected. But it is
Hmm.
not only the fourth and fifth lumbar; it is the energy which is pushing that
Yes.
and making the
Ironically,
pressure.
I go to acupuncture. Their
Amazing.
reference to chakra is meridian. And they, in the Asian massage process, Master Shin will let me know that one leg is shorter than the other. He has to shift the body, move the body, crack the body to make it even out. It's about balance, harmony, and peace,
Right,
really,
right.
and the need for us to find that. The
Mm.
thing about it, where we are today, for example, we're in the midst of AI. AI ain't going nowhere. Okay. It's here to stay if the universe says it's okay. Can AI enhance our consciousness towards this
I'll come
energy,
on to that
towards this
also.
this Kalki universal love and law and all of that connected?
Great question.
I'll come
Thank
on
you.
to that. Your questions are coming in a way that I want to finish first, then move on to these one. But I will answer all.
Okay.
So physical, you understood that what are the challenges which a person can go who's going through awakening. Mentally, the challenge is that, as I told you, they will start diverting their attention from regular work to something which is like yoga, or all of a sudden they want to become healer because they are going through that, and they understand that if it is healing me, it will heal somebody else also. But that's not the case in awakening, and that person understand only after 7 to 10 years, when they become utter fiasco or failure of not becoming what they actually want, because they consider that this awakening is to transform them and making something, but in reality it is not, and I'll come on to that also. So the mental issues, you will become isolated, you will go into depression because nobody will be talking to you. As soon as you will go into some social forum, you will start talking about what you know, people are not interested in that, and then eventually you will feel like nobody's giving you attention. People want to go for vacation or cruise, and you are talking that you will go for meditation for 3 hours. Who wants to listen to you? Or this is your pain you go
Right.
through. Now the third is emotional problem. Once you're isolated, then the emotional problem also starts. So
Mm.
um, as I told you, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia could be one of the issues which are mental disorder. But emotionally, you might start crying very frequently for no reason. Like all of a sudden, somebody else's problem will become your problem. You will lose everything and you will start supporting other people, not knowing why you are doing it, because you just want to become a good person overnight now,
Mm.
because now you are awakened. But that is not like. So now what happened, how this awakening start and what it gives. So there are seven main portals, knowledge portals. You can consider them as a stations on radio.
Mm.
Radio FM 101.3 talks about news. 103.7 talks about jazz music. 107 point something. Like there are seven stations, and each station gives you a different information. So one station, if you pull, you will hear only the baseball match. Well, it's just
Right.
a sports channel, whereas another channel is just talking about the weather. So us human beings, on an average, if we are not awakened, we learn every one. There are seven levels of knowledges. We learn one set in 14 years. That's why usually when mothers give baby, they always ask God, give my kid 100 years of life. Why? Because unconsciously, 14 into 7, 98. Because each individual, if lives for 100 years, by default, when they will die at the age of 98 or beyond, they will not ask the question, where is God? Who's God? Who
No.
created me? Why I was created? All the questions will be answered in this self evolution, which will go into 7 levels in 98 years. So the first 14 years, we learn the consciousness where our home is, what I will eat, what I will wear. This is basically we learn in the first 14 years. When, even when you are a kid, remember, where is your school, where is your home, who's your father, who's your mother. So that 14 years gives you the basic infrastructure in your life. So you know it now, who to believe, who you belong to, that kind of belongingness. All of a sudden, about 13, 14, you gain the puberty. And now you have another capability as a human being, which you have learned now, that you can make babies. Not before that you were able to do it. Even if you knew it, you didn't know how to do it. But now you know it, how to do it.
Yeah.
So in next 14 years, we struggle with it. It comes to us, we use it, misuse it, use it again, misuse it. By 28, now we have a third level of awareness, and this is called as social awareness. It is the age when we have finished our university, we might be working, we might have a girlfriend, boyfriend, which is from a different culture. Now you not only can survive with your family and childhood friends, but this social awareness at about 27, 28 gives you ability to survive even a multicultural, multi-religious, or
Mhm.
multi-environment. That social consciousness comes only after 28. Before that, you may also say, you do not know how to talk to the elders, you do not know how to talk to the strangers. But at 28 onwards, now you know it how to live in the social setup in world. Another 14 year pass. Now this 14 year, to live with other, you sometimes do jealousy, you become angry, you become greedy. Sometime while you are learning this social capability, you may be jealous.
Right.
And then one day, after 14 years, when you are around 40 plus, you have gained little bit of knowledge, you have gained a little bit of wisdom, the money also. This is the time when people start pouring towards others' life. Your heart opens up. It's a different consciousness. Even if you were aware about this consciousness at 20, 22, you may not be helping. But all of a sudden at 45, you become coach. Okay, I do not have the money. At least I have the knowledge. Let me, spread that. Oh, I don't have the money, but I can pay you $200. You just live your life. Like you start sharing. This is this fourth energy. So the first energy is in your base of the spine, which gives you the basic knowledge. We call it as a Mooladhara or first chakra. The second is right where your reproductive organs are. So that is the second portal from where you get the knowledge of propagating or making babies. The third one is right where we have the navel. That is the place where the third knowledge portal is,
Mhm.
which talks
Mm.
about our social awareness. And then
Mhm.
is our right here, which talks about like giving is happiness rather than, just taking, taking, taking. So you start giving.
Mhm. Yeah.
When you are giving, then you start talking about it also, because giving, you can give either the wealth or the wisdom. Wealth comes from heart or your pocket, but wisdom comes from your throat. And you start propagating, talking about it. This is like, another wisdom. Now all of a sudden people become speaker, people become, I
Mhm.
was not a speaker when I was born, but then eventually I start speaking because that energy gave me the wisdom how to use the throat as a musical instrument and reach with the
Mm.
symphony, the music, which you are creating to the others, so that they
Correct.
like it what you are saying. So this awareness comes, and then you start talking about it. When you are talking about, then people come there to challenge you. Show me how to do it. And then the next sixth knowledge portal opens up and makes you inventor. And then you invent something, maybe a little small thing, post it, like, a pen. So you can invent something which has never been invented or seen that way, because you figured out there was a problem. You started talking about it, you started giving towards it. And when people asked you, show me how to do it, you gave your creation also, like, you can also do it. Once you create something, Diamond, it is so amazing. When you write a poem, when you paint even a small painting, you become the creator and automatically start understanding that how difficult it was for a creator to create this. And you
Mm,
understand the essence of the creator first time, because now you have created something, you know the challenges.
very true.
So this is 7 levels of awareness which you gain. Now all of a sudden this awareness comes in 7 to 10 years, and you become very wise. But when you become wise, you start over throwing it towards other, and that's where you become failure. If
Mm,
you consider that this awakening was being given to you because there was a physical, mental, emotional challenge there, you bend on your knees, you told God to take my life, this is not the life. And all of a sudden, now you have given the experience because God told you if you are happy or sad, it is because of your own choices and conscious decision at some point of time in life. I am not the one to create any problem in your life. You have been creating the problem for your life. The moment you realize this, you surrender.
mm,
Then the magic starts. Now, how this happened before, I'm making it very simple. So, understand if this is our vertebral column and this is our head. So, as I told you, the first one is right here,
right.
and this seventh one is right on my top.
Correct.
Sixth is here, fifth is here, fourth is on my heart. So you can just know these portals.
Visualize it. Yeah.
So now consider Kundalini, which is the generator at the buttocks. It is like a lighter, a fire.
Mm,
So when it fires, when the flame goes, it just goes on our vertebral column and burns the first one. And consider this knowledge portal as a firecracker ground spinner, which when you fire it,
mm,
twisting and gives the light. Same way that light is the wisdom. So as soon as the kundalini which get heated up, it burns the first chakra and it start unwinding. And the moment it unwind, it gives us the wisdom now how to make money, because that is our basic need.
mm,
Kind of home I will live. So if you go into somebody's home and you find their home delicious and very sophisticatedly been arranged, and it means their basic chakra is processing very well. They know how to live. If somebody is very disciplined in eating, they know how what to eat. If somebody is very well dressed up, so they know how what to wear. That wisdom has come from the first one. So now this 7 level of wisdom makes us basically aware who we are, who created us, what created us. And anybody who calls themselves as a prophet has gone through it, whether it was Jesus Christ or Moses or any other prophet. They have to go through this to become what they become. And not only this, you talk to any scientist, you talk to any person who has become an authority in their life, a musician, and ask them how do they become, and their story will be same. One day they were on the road, they had nowhere to go, and something changed in their life, and they became what they became. But there is somebody else support which has actually made them what they are today. It is not their own work. And when
mm,
that ego ended, things start flowing in the best way. You are in harmony with others, they are in harmony with others. Otherwise, even if you're awakened, you will still be jealous, you will still be, angry, you probably still, break somebody's trust, you will become lusty. These 6 emotions, anger, ego, greed, pride, lust, jealousy, are basically the enemies of this energy. So if you're going
mhm,
through awakening and you still
mhm,
have impact of these 6 emotions, it means you're
mhm,
not awake yet. You are still
mm.
struggling to understand what this life is about.
Correct. Okay. You just answered my question. Okay.
Now coming on to, as I was telling you, So you got the answer. So the energy is stored, it's in precision, but if it overflows, it just change everything. The process goes for 7 to 10 years and putting us behind everybody. But once it has been done, you are definitely a better person than many others. And
Okay.
after that, you just live your life until your last breath as a responsibility that you have been given the life, but you also were being given the opportunity to recognize self as a spirit with a body and a mind. You are
Mhm.
not just the body and mind. You are a spirit. Body and mind are being given to you. So the whole concept of diamond, how we perceive from the Eastern philosophy, that this life is
Mm.
a test for each one of us. We are here for a test, a very big test, in
Okay.
which if you are coming from a Abrahamic religion, the test is that you follow 10 commandments. Simple. That is your test. If you follow 10 commandments, thou shall not kill, thou, there is only one God, or you
Okay.
never have problems. You will never have problems. In our case, we consider those 10 commandments as four gates of life. The same 10 commandments are actually put it in a different way. We call that this life is a test for first thing, that you never forget that this is a test. Don't attach yourself. Whatever belongs to you today will not belong to you today. It will be somebody's else. You
Right.
are here only for a temporary purpose. Death is inevitable. You were not born with your choice. You will not die with your choice. You do not know about these things. But the most important thing is, can you find God on your own? That's the
Right.
test. If you ask me what is my test, can you find God? People talk about God. But biggest question is, can you find God out here?
Yes.
So whether
Correct.
you go into Bible or Torah or Quran, they basically are getting you introduced to God only. But in
Right.
this way, in a natural way, without reading any book, you are also getting the similar experience. Just
Mhm.
imagine the person who has never read Bible or Quran. Doesn't he or she has the right to become awakened and understand the God? They all
Right.
have the equal right.
Very
Because
true. Very true. So and I know if if all these questions are populating in my head, I'm quite sure a lot of the audience is
sure, in
answering
case
or
if they have a
questioning the
question
same
for
thing.
sure.
Right. So when we talk about
Before
finding
that,
God or knowing,
Diamond, if you give me one more minute and I'll quickly
oh,
finish,
go ahead.
one more question which Linda asked me. Then what
Hmm.
will happen with the introduction of AI
Mhm.
in our what will be their role? In the positive side, in the last 7 to 10 years, there has been a lot of spiritual speakers which are not making any sense, but they are talking on the social media. They have corrupted the knowledge. With 6 days, they are saying that they will give you the glimpse of enlightenment. Like there are all kinds of marketing deals, and they are selling the spirituality which cannot be sold, which cannot.
That's, I was waiting for you to say that.
So the moment somebody who is basically wise, intelligent, awakened, they understand that this is not to make money.
Right.
This is my only opportunity. Before I failed the test because of my own choices, this time I will not fail. My choices will be way improved from the past. I will not commit the same mistake. But unfortunately, being human beings, we keep on doing the same mistake even when we are aware that we do not have to do this. But you will see the similar actions being taken by the people, and they keep on destroying themselves, and then there is no coming back. So why I call it my book, first of all, Kalki Global Consciousness, because it is not only me who is awakened, and I have to call it as a global consciousness because it has impacted irrespective of our language, religion, race, countries. It has not checked any boundaries. It has just touched those spirits which were open, which were looking for the second opportunity, who were good, but somehow could not do good. And God became considerate for their request and giving them the opportunity. So this is the final test. Before, I could have told, blame to so many people, my father, my mother, my wife, my, friend. But who I'm going to blame now after this awakening? So anybody who's awakened, it is your final test. Do not take it like, you will get more opportunities.
And you cannot sell it.
You cannot sell it. Because what you are learning, you are not understanding that the person next to you who's going through awakening is also understanding the same thing. How do
Right.
you, if my heart pumps 72 times, how will my energy system work different than yours? If my 11 system, respiratory, circulatory, digestive, nervous, those system if work same way in my body as in your body, why will energy system will work differently? if
Right.
if I am having shoulder ache, why would you not have the shoulder ache? If I am going through depression, when I am these symptoms are common among everyone. But when you start selling it, you are getting towards fiasco. You will fail. It is better now, since you have become better person, you put your 80% of the time to bring food onto the table, to take care of your responsibilities, and put 20% of time towards anything, whether your meditation, travel, anything. And that's what I'm doing for the last almost 16 years now, balancing my life, that I do not become cuckoo. I don't start wearing those orange and yellow clothes and those necklaces and pretend that I am a normal person like anyone who just
Everybody
got
else. Yeah.
experience, and who probably because of my own inclination or God wanted me to observe it differently than the other people. I,
Yes.
rather than just becoming, responsible for my own awakening, I became
Right.
responsible for the global awakening. And why I call it as Kalki, because each one of us, we have little bit of our, the basic values also. So if you are a Muslim or a Jew or a Christian, in all of our books, it is written that there will be a time that avatar or prophet will come back.
Yes, I was going to ask. That was my next question.
Yeah.
Prophet will come back.
That's
Mhm.
where I was heading.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same is written in our Eastern philosophy also, that there will be a last prophet who will come. He will come on a horse, white horse, with a
Right.
sword in the hand, and will pierce those who will not be adhering to dharma. Correct? Now, when this awakening come, and anybody who's listening to me or will listen will resonate, that this comes so quick. It comes overnight. Like you are a bad person because you went through that experience. Next day you are changed. As somebody came on the horse running, put the sword in your heart, killed that Lucifer which was sitting inside, or Kali, we call it as devil as Kali, or the Lucifer, same. And the avatar who's going to kill that Kali or Lucifer in the heart, we call it as Kalki,
Mhm.
Kalki, which is nothing but Vishnu's avatar. And when I was going through, I could see that image, how it just came so fast and transformed me overnight. So I started calling it as Kalki. Now, many people who awakened during this time, after me, during me, because this started, I consider that this first glimpse of this awakening happened in year 2001.
Mm.
So 2001 onwards, anybody who got awakened got one kind of knowledge, and that knowledge was nothing beyond God. Whereas the same knowledge, same global consciousness changed 150 years back, but people learned during that consciousness more on science, not on God, but science.
Okay. So I have
700 years back, sorry,
no. I have a quick question there,
please.
interjection for you. So what you're stating is we're you're seeing that there's a global spiritual awakening, and you talked about back in 2001 and onward. what signs do you see around us that helps you to recognize this global spiritual awakening?
Awakening, yes.
Most of us talk about God today.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the common thing. Each
Yeah.
one of us talks somehow about the God.
Mm-hmm.
700 years back, it was called as Renaissance time. Not just
Mhm.
one Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci. There were many painters, many sculpture artists during that time.
True.
150 years back, it was called as science time. There was not only just Nikola Tesla or Edison. There were many scientists across the globe, whether it was Africa, Japan, India, who got the recognition, that is a different thing. But it does not mean that if Marconi would not have invented the telephone, Japanese will not have the telephone, or Indian. They also had the similar kind of knowledge happening in their area. 60 years back, it was women liberalization.
Mm.
Margaret Thatcher, Indira Gandhi, Benazir Bhutto, Sheikh Hasina from Bangladesh, Kumari Tunga from Sri Lanka. There were more than 6 president or prime ministers in this world, the woman prime minister. Around 1000 or 350 years back, 400 years back, it was a time of navigation when people started knowing how to travel in the sea. There was no knowledge behind, but there were many from, whether you check the France or check, Portugal or Italy, there were, people from all over the area which knew about that knowledge. It's nothing like the French taught how to see the navigation in the sea.
Right.
So this evolution, when it comes, it actually gives you the wisdom to take care of your problem. If you remember how I started, that I went through a problem, I got awakened. So basically, that awakening gave me the knowledge how to live with that problem. Shall I live in guilt or shall I change? Shall I regret what I did or I shall change? The decision is mine. Correct? Now it is your choice once you are awakened. So now
And
coming, yes, please.
the problem varies from person to person. Not
Yes.
everyone is going to have a near death experience.
No.
Right.
Okay.
It just I had one, and it was I didn't come to this level until now. The near death experience was almost 20 years ago.
I'll
I'm
tell you
just
first
now
of all.
getting to a point. I'm just getting to a point where I'm beginning to feel that energy and know that energy is there. This is the question I have for you. For an individual who is at a very early stage of really getting what you're saying, is there something they can do to enhance that consciousness?
Of course. First of all, they should not speak. They
Mm.
restrict themselves to speak for 7 years. This is the biggest challenge in front of them because they will not be able to shush. And the moment they will speak, they will look idiots. They think that they are talking smart, that they are talking about philosophy. But eventually, they do not have the base to create the structure over it. They are just talking about the structure, but there is no base, there is no knowledge, there is no wisdom. They just have
You're
an idea.
talking about speaking on subject matter like this. Just don't
Exactly.
speak on subject.
Don't speak.
Just
Second,
taking in the information. Yeah.
yes. Second, do not get defocused from your responsibilities when you have chosen to live a family life, whether you are a son or a daughter.
Yeah.
Do not just say one day that I'm going to an ashram, like I'm traveling now and I will live in
Right.
mountains. No, that is not going to solve it. Yes, a little bit of isolation is must when you go through awakening. Like, you have gone for 2 months, 1 month, just for, being aloof for a little while and going and observing things in silence. Definitely we require some time, but not like, that I will not work anymore. I am, changing my lifestyle. This has not given to change your work lifestyle. It has given to change you as a personality. That are you going to change or not? Do you know that you have to clear this test? If this is a Pac-Man level 1, do you want to go to Pac-Man level 2 after this life or not? If you keep on failing, you keep on coming back in reincarnating. But if you are awakened and still fail, probably you will not have a chance to come back again. Because now you have been tutored by God itself. How can you say that I do not know about why I was being given the life? It means you're
Mm.
not enlightened yet. If you still have those questions, it means you're not enlightened.
Please. And I'm glad that you said that, because that brings me to what I wanted to ask you. A lot of people talk about their purpose, right? What is my purpose? I feel that I'm walking in my path and manifesting and affirming. And for a lot of people, and even the listeners now, they may feel stuck, burned out, or even get overwhelmed with all the download. Because when the download comes, it's so heavy and it's hard to navigate through and understanding what it is you're feeling or seeing, right? And my question is, how can someone such as myself or even the listeners begin applying Kalki consciousness in their work, in their relationships, or even in health?
Sure. So, Michelle, quickly I'll tell you that as I told you, this life is a test. So there has to be
Mhm.
some syllabus also. Okay. Before Moses, what was the syllabus? If 10 commandments is the syllabus now, what was the syllabus before? There was humanity before also. How was people reaching to the God, or how their liberation was happening at that time? So, Michelle, we believe that there are four different um, exam levels which humanity goes through. One level, we are very close to God. The paper is little bit easy. And the fourth level, we are very far from God and paper is very tough. So when this humanity or the creation was created, people did not ask the question. God was right in front of them. So if you see any European paintings, which are like old paintings, you'll see angels also in the same painting, like, floating, or,
Mhm.
you know, the men are not wearing anything, women are not wearing
Right on
anything.
the murals, yeah.
Just see, like, there was a time when people were living that way. People had no, those kinds of restriction as we have today. Everybody knew where God is. Angels live with us. That was one awakening. Test was simple, but still, there were two reasons people fail in that time: greed
Mm. Mm.
and killing somebody. Like they might have stolen or they might killed. Then a time came, the syllabus changed because God said, "Now I'm going into my own world. You are here on the earth. From now onwards, children will see God in parents, and parents will see God in children." That's how you
Mm.
see today, even there are certain families which respect their parents as God only. Look at Italian, Chinese, Indian families, Pakistanis. There are certain family, like cultural group, which just consider their parents as God even today. That is also there.
Mm.
But then what happened at one point of a time, parents became corrupt. They were not that good as, parents should be. They did certain mistakes in history. And kids started saying that we do not see God anymore in our parents. They are not ordinary people. And now you may see people started getting deviated from that path.
Mhm.
So God gave the another test that from now onward, you will be responsible for your own action. The liberation will not be through your parents. If your parents say, "My kid was very nice, I will pass you." But from now onwards, since you have told that you do not see God in parents, from now onwards, look at 10 commandments. These are your karmas. Just do these karmas and you will pass the test. No parents required, no information on me required. Just focus on karma. Even if you do not know God, but your karmas are good, you will pass the test. Michelle,
Wow.
the challenge with that is that people became very intelligent. They started cheating even God. So they will do some bad karma because now the test need to be passed based on the karmas. They will do one bad karma and then repent for 3, 4 months, 3, 4 years, get over with that, and then again do something bad. Kalki says the only one question at the liberation, only one question on the judgment day. Do you have Kali in your heart or Kalki in your heart? Means, do you have Lucifer in your heart or you have Jesus Christ in your heart? Same. So you call Jesus Christ as a consciousness, Kalki as a consciousness. That do we still have that devil? It means we are vulnerable that we can do bad thing. There is a catch. Initially, the test was you do the good and bad karma. Based on your good and bad karma, you will be given, heaven, hell, whatever. But now onwards, you are so corrupt that you do good and bad karma in such a way that you do some charity and then balance it, and you somehow can clear the test. God understood that. He made test more difficult and said, now this time I will just check your heart. Tear your heart. Show me you have me in there or you have Lucifer in there. So
Right.
Kalki is the last avatar. If you have God in your heart, this test will be cleared. Otherwise, this test will be failed. Now, problem in this case is, Michelle, until this earth can sustain the life, you can come back and give the test. Just imagine if this world goes under the water, and it has gone before
Yes.
for hundreds of years or thousands of years. You do not have the land which can sustain a human life. What will happen in that case? Neither you are there nor you are here. You are in between. That's called as wandering spirit. And for how
Yeah.
many years? Just imagine, as a spirit, you know everything, but you cannot access anything.
Yeah.
How unfortunate the life will be that you can see ice cream, you can't eat. You can, it's just the worst thing which somebody can go through, that you are not getting a body to appear for the test and you are not with the God.
Mhm.
Wow.
So now it is
And you
each one of us a
we can't
responsibility.
and we can't operate in a sense of fear about it either. There are individuals who think that we are at our last days, and you know, in
Yeah,
some cases, I read or saw something on YouTube said that Kalki is already born and he will be fully revealed in 2032. Jesus is coming in 15, 20 minutes. You know,
yeah.
we
It
can't
is just
operate.
in mind, because the
Yes,
people who have transformed, they have seen death. Somehow,
yes,
may not be death experience, maybe the pressure which they had in their life, the fight, whether it was fight with cancer, fight with
mhm,
the divorce, some pressure was so big and huge in their life which actually killed them, giving them a new opportunity to live now. But if we do not change, then there is no benefit of the awakening, which is a lifetime experience,
Right.
and we will just throw it into the drain.
Yeah, that's true. And, with everything that both you and Linda just tapped in on, many are talking about and saying we're preparing for some great or huge transformation, right? What does that look like to you?
I believe that this awakening has come because humanity is going through a bigger challenges which cannot be resolved by one individual, and many people have to collect on that one day, because usually it is only for a hero is not for, like, 10 years. Heroism probably is for 1 second or 1 minute, that the collectively we have to do something as humanity, to do something so great which will secure not us reaching to the right place, but even the generation which is coming ahead of us and will be appearing for the test. Even for them, that values will be established, that they can clear the test now clearly. Now imagine if we have the kids, what are we going to teach them? Way better than what was being taught to us, to, because we have experienced. My parents knew about God, but I do not know if they experienced the same God how we have experienced today or not. Maybe they knew about from their culture, from what they read, the rituals they did. But
Mhm.
today, in present world, I think that out of four people, one person is awakened. There are so
Wow.
many. There's so
Wow.
many. And now imagine if everybody starts saying that I will become a prophet or I will become a healer. then the world will be full of healers only.
That's true.
And
So
and can is there a such thing as a global karma that must be paid?
Mm.
A global karmic debt? Because we talk about
yeah, the
what's
global, I mean,
happening.
you can philosophically say, but the globe is made by God, and creation has no debt on the creator.
Okay,
Hmm.
that's good to hear.
That's yeah, that's
Almost
interesting.
that's almost comforting to hear.
Right. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
and on that, Linda, great question. I would say for sure, because a lot of people believe in this huge karmic, oh, karma is going to come back at you for whatever has been put out there, right? Or
Especially in
whatever
America.
you've done,
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Well, it's like a boomerang effect. So, how can Kalki Conscious guide communities to heal and rise above these fears, division, and separations?
Everything is with wish of God. So out of all the awakened soul, who will be blessed with what? That will be only God's work. We cannot. We can ask anything. Many a times, as an individual, I
Hmm.
also have my own struggles, right? And I ask God, why are you putting me into this? Why can't I become like that? And the answer is, ask yourself. So my question to everyone who's listening or will ever listen this program, and if they are thinking that they could have been in a better place, ask yourself in isolation. You do not deserve as of now. The day you deserve, you will be there. You have to wait for the time.
Wow.
And the only thing what you have to do is that on the day of judgment day, because of this awakening, the only one thing which we have got is to kill the Kali sitting in our heart.
Mm.
So if you are awakened, my question is, have you killed the devil in your heart or it is still there? Can you
Mm.
still lie? Can you still cheat? Can you still do those things, or you're done with that? If it is there, then I am not believing in you because you
Mm.
are vulnerable.
That's deep, very deep, and
And very
deep on
simple.
many
Very
levels.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Simple. It's
I've
very yeah.
So Kalki
and,
consciousness is nothing but the consciousness of God.
very true, and that in a sense is very encouraging, and it's like small steps toward this big transformation, and we've taken in so much in such a little time, and I definitely would like for our viewers to recap and see
Of course,
how this can be applied to their life. So let's close with the final reflection. Um,
I
Before
will.
we end, what is one message from Kalki Consciousness that you'd like our viewers to hear or
Sure,
be
sure.
left with today?
I'll give two things at the end. One,
No problem.
a tool which somebody can use it if they are on the path of awakening. And the message, like you are asking me as an individual, what I am bringing in this world when I am gone,
Yeah.
how people will remember me, or how I would like people to be, remembering me. That I was the one who reminded them of the test. Deep down, everyone was aware of, but the way I have been advocating about it, probably that's my individual God's blessing that He gave me that much courage to talk that this life is a test to find the perfect version of self. And unless and until we become like God, we cannot be liberated and amalgamate with the God. We cannot live with the God until we have the essence of the God. And there are only few things which you need to do. The very first thing is kill the devil inside you, and you will find the God. Now, everything starts with the observation. And I'm going to teach who are here today that majority of the time when we are working, whether it is spiritual or on our regular work, our focus is not there. That's why we do not become successful.
Mm.
We have too many things. On an average, in an hour, there are 3,000 voluntary thought which comes in our mind. in 10, 11 hours, there are about 60,000 thoughts which comes in our mind. When our mind is so much filled with, filth, how will we become wiser? Where is the room for us to bring some new knowledge, unlearn something, learn something? And
Mm,
that happens through the mindfulness. And how you can become wise, you need to observe things around you
mm,
and silently.
mm, mm,
And
mm,
how
mm.
you could do it, how you could bring your thoughts. Like, there is many times people ask me, we want to meditate, but we do not know how to meditate. We want
Right.
to, think about this, but we cannot.
Next
So just,
question.
if you guys have gone to the bowling, so 9-pin bowling, how you hold the ball with your three fingers, like,
Okay.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
consider your head as that ball and put your two fingers just on the tips on the top of it. The
Mm,
the secret is that this groove of V should be below your nose here, so that when the breath comes out of your nose, when going inside, we are not concerned. But when it is coming out, it should fall in one point only, some point, wherever you put it, adjust it in a way that each time the breath coming out of your nostril falls on the groove somewhere.
okay.
When you close your eyes, 70% of the things anyway which is around you, they are cut off. When you sit, 10% more is being added because now you are still. And when you hold it, put your thumb under the chin so that you have a support. You can
Mm,
also use the chairs
the
support,
armrest.
so that,
Yeah.
yeah, so that you can prolong this meditation session. Now I'm challenging you also, that you take these fingers and put it here, and after 40 seconds you will be mindful, because I'm forcing you now to focus on your nostrils. So what will happen? Your mind will not think about anything beyond it, and you will
Wow.
achieve
You know,
mindfulness
that's
in
wonderful. You
40
hear that?
seconds.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
40
That's
Yes.
seconds.
glorious.
I challenge
Magnificent.
you, it will be only 40, 50 seconds.
Wow.
So
I'm
now
doing
you
that
know.
soon. Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, I know. Now you
So I'm
know. There's
saying,
no
if you want to meditate for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, the technique is the moment your mind start going anywhere else, you put this, and as soon as your mind is empty, God will start giving you the wisdom which you have
Mm,
never experienced. Many a times you will be driving, and all of a sudden you will have an idea. Ah, I never thought about it. If I did,
right.
I will be. So
Mm,
that's called as knowledge, or the wisdom, which will start coming to you, which will be poured onto you, so that you become wiser,
a download.
not only help you but help others.
Mm, mm, mm. Wow. I'm so grateful for that.
I'm
And look,
grateful. And
you have
it's
living in
moving.
tears again this week.
It's moving to hear it because
Mm,
because people, including me, for I'm 150 years old. I'm 71 years old. And when you think you're doing something and something's happening, but what you have just explained is like an icing on a cake. It's
mm,
like
mm.
it's like the perfect meal
Balance.
being presented, balanced. I co-wrote a song with Dr. Portia Lockett called "Silence is the Key." I know the
Hmm.
importance of silence, but what you just gave our listeners, you gave to me, I take it personally,
Likewise.
is the icing on the cake. It simplifies everything, and it doesn't have to be ours.
It simplifies and it amplified what needed
Amplifies,
to be heard.
simplifies, and clarifies
Nice.
everything.
Yes.
So this is what
You
I'm doing
are
through my
you are a
book.
blessing. You are a blessing to us with all you've been through.
Absolutely.
You are truly a
Absolutely.
blessing, and there's no accident. You're here because you've been sent here,
Hmm.
been placed here. Michelle's been placed here. You've been placed here on purpose. We don't take money for this interview. We don't give money to interview. It's because God has called us to do this.
Yes.
And now it
Absolutely.
makes sense what we're doing.
I'm
We have a
very
And full
wonderful.
circle. And
Oh,
full circle, Linda, as Deepak shared earlier, and I know the audience is not privy to see what happens a lot behind the scenes, which is something Linda and I are, we're working on sharing, because we want to make this space very intricate for all of our viewers as well as our guests. And Deepak shared our story of how we connected years ago during the pandemic. And it was the beginning. It was the flip, where he, had me on a pedestal, like, hey, this amazing person, with all these, accolades and followers. And, he humbled me because he spoke into my spirit and stated what I did for him, like, acknowledging him, making him a moderator, calling him up on stage so that he could speak. And it was because of a connection. I didn't understand it at the time, but we were connected then for a purpose. And the purpose came full fold. I interviewed him before on, in the house media, and we talked about spirituality and meditation at that time. Remember, Deepak? And then now it's like full circle, because now it's even on a more elevated level where we're tapping into who we are consciously and the power that lies within. And as we stated earlier in the broadcast, and even with us airing this information, is the work is not on the outside. It begins internally.
it's an
And that's
intuitive
what,
process.
thank
Yes,
you.
it's
Thank you.
intuitive.
Yes.
And I appreciate you. Like I said, the connection was made then for a purpose. The connection stayed alive, and it's now being elevated even further for a purpose. And I appreciate you accepting the invite to come on and share this information. And I just want to ask you this:
Please.
for someone who's inspired right now by tapping into infinite perspectives and hearing what you had to share this evening, and wants to begin their own journey, what's the very first step they should take?
Of course. So, Bishop, what happened, as I told you, that for last 14, 15 years, I'm also struggling as I wanted to find the middle path. I saw the history that there was not even single person who stayed in the family and achieved the spiritual heights, whether it was Mahatma Buddha, Jesus Christ. You see, nobody has the family life. But the culture or the society in which we are living and we have got awakened, we all are in a state where we are having some social bindings, social responsibilities.
Absolutely.
I lost two of my known people last year, one
Mm,
in August, another in February 2024. I was coaching them for years,
mm,
years. But as I was busy in my work to put food onto the table, there were times when I got disconnected from them. One committed suicide,
mm,
another took overdose of drug,
mm.
and I made myself responsible again after
Hmm.
Ugh,
years. So in January, I wrote a
you're
book
an empath.
for
That's
those
why.
people that
Yeah.
even if I die tomorrow, you have all the necessary tools. And I shared just one exercise with you, like, I call it as
Yes.
a 9 pinpoint bowling. I
Mhm.
have mentioned 35 secrets which you cannot Google and are in the book. Similar small activities so that you do not go insane, you remain normal, balanced in 7 to 10 years, and come as a winner that you will see God one day rather than fail on the way. So the book is available. You read it, and
Yes.
I challenge every reader, not because I wrote it because I lost two people, and I do not. Yes, I have my own mission that nobody should die because they were not aware of how to handle this awakening.
Give us
Right.
the title of that book.
The
Sorry.
Give us the
title.
title of that book.
Title of the book is Evolution of Human Global Consciousness. It is available on Amazon, Apple, Noble and Barnes, Kobo, and all other platforms.
And
So
spell your last name for us.
Manchanda, Mary, Alpha, Nancy, Charlie, Henry, Alpha, Nancy, Delta, Alpha. Manchanda.
Yes. And while you're at it, at this time, can you also share where our viewers can follow you and
Yes,
any
yes,
upcoming events or
of
programs
course,
that you
of
have?
course, of course. So you can follow me on Facebook. That is the number one, platform where I am active for the last almost 18, 19 years now, quite long time. So there you can ask me questions if you have any. And the second will be my Instagram account.
Right.
So both the accounts you can find as a Kalki Conscious or Deepak Manchanda. But you'll find me, and I'm encouraging you that please feel free to ask me any question, any concern you have, because awakening is not 6 days camping or 6 days tour to a. It's a very long thing, and unless and until you are not equipped with the tools and techniques, the chances of you failing the test is extremely high.
There's no
Yes.
mushroom, no ayahuasca that's necessary.
They will give you a little bit, I'm not saying that, because they were natural healing thing which God
Mhm.
has created in
Mhm.
every small area. These things were always available because they had certain benefit, and even in
Yes.
the awakening they do have, but not like, you start living in that life
Life. You don't live in it.
for an experience. If somebody says, have you done mushrooms, have you done smoked marijuana, and it is very common, 99.999% of spiritual people have experienced it. And if somebody is saying they're lying, because when your hormones change, they demand certain thing. When a lady is pregnant, ask her how many things she wants to eat at during that time. They're craving.
Yes.
When person is awakened, it is like you are having a baby inside you, yourself. You are giving birth to yourself, a new one. And you
Yes.
will know, you will be having, that urge of so many things during that time. So what you consume, eat, that is very much like, has to be disciplined, and very well taken, rather than, because
Right.
your sexual desire will increase when the energy will rise. It does not mean that you have to have the physical relation with everyone. You have to control and manage and use that for a different reason, for your
Yes.
creativity.
Yes.
So
Yes.
true. I love that. So I'm going to ask Linda's favorite question when
Please.
we are wrapping it up. With everything that you have shared with us this evening and the journey that you have embarked on in your spiritual awakening, if you could speak to yourself in the beginning of this journey, when you felt there was no hope, when you lost your unborn child
Yes, there was no.
and your loved ones, what would you say to yourself then?
I was just wishing I told you only one thing, that just kill me. This is not the life. I cannot live. I cannot. I cannot take this big thing on my shoulders that I'm responsible for somebody's death.
Mm,
And then that, and amazingly, the one who has given you the guilt, he also gives you the ways how to repent it. Very
Yeah.
surprisingly, he will put you into those things, that because everything is heart and mind which is creating it. If that guilt has come or regret has come, that also is being created by heart or mind. But it gives you certain things whereby you feel that you have repented those, washed those, and from now onwards, I will make sure that nothing, no spot comes onto my purity or my
wow.
something.
Yeah.
I truly love that. Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for that.
Thank you so
You know,
much.
it's such a breath of fresh air. And thank you for sharing your
Thank you, thank
wisdom
you, thank
and
you.
light with us this evening. To everyone listening, remember this: transformation isn't something we wait for, it's something we awaken to in this very moment. We would like to leave you with these words: the light of transformation is not coming, it is already within you. Kalki Consciousness is the awakening to your own divine power. And remember, your role in the final awakening is not random, it's written in your
Very,
soul.
of course.
Okay? So
100%.
until next time, keep shining, keep
Yeah.
seeking, and keep
Yeah.
rising. I'm Michelle Diamond and my amazing partner.
I'm Linda Boston.
Thank you.
And this is Infinite Perspectives with Deepak Manchanda, where voices become vision and vision becomes change. Have a good evening and be blessed.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Wow, powerful, very powerful.
How you gonna change the things around you? Oh, what you gonna love inside of you? Oh, mhm. When you gonna hear his revelation?